everybody, welcome to episode 11. I'm Rob.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Andi.
And this is
Everybody in the Conference Room.
That's right. Welcome to episode 11. Guys, we took a week off and it felt like an eternity.
I missed you guys.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Listeners.
Our listeners.
I missed it.
We missed you so much. We're so
It
sorry.
was not,
I know.
like, we did not, we thought about it a lot, and then we were like, we can't make it work this week.
That's right.
Sure.
That's right. And so, but we are here. We are with you. Welcome to the show. Make sure wherever you get your podcasts that you subscribe and leave us a review. If you leave us a 5-star, we'll read it on the air. We'll get to one of those in a minute. Make sure you tell a friend about the show. It's a great tangible way to help out the show. And check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/anofficepod. Tonight, we're going to talk Endgame spoilers. Andi and I finally saw it. Oh my gosh.
Congrats, guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for only $3 a month, you get access to the after party at Poor Richard's, and we'll talk some Endgame spoilers.
Super
so
fun.
Come on over. Also, we want to say thanks to the sponsor for this episode, SAF. Thank you so much
Thanks,
for your patronage.
Yeah, that's why they call it Patreon, huh?
Yeah, there you go.
Well, there you go.
Oh, that's
You'll
sweet.
learn something new every day.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've noticed when I've listened back to previous episodes, we've been like, oh yeah, and we just want to say to our Patreons, Patreon is the website. They're called patrons. So
Patrons,
there you go.
yeah.
There you go. And we're going to read a 5-star review.
All right.
And this comes from Angelina Bianchi.
Oh, I know that girl.
Yeah, somebody that we have a little bit of a connection with.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
this review popped up and it was awesome. So we're going to read it. The title is "We Love It," and then the body says, "My mom and I love watching the show and then listening to the podcast. You guys are doing a great job. It's funny and enjoyable to listen to."
Oh,
So
thank
nice.
you.
we want to say thank you to Angelina and the whole Bianchi crew.
Ow, ow.
Love you guys so much.
It's
We
fun
really
to get
do.
some reviews that we know people.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Good-
that is. I
good
think that's
people.
the first one where we actually know him.
Yeah, good.
I
for
like
you.
it.
And then I also just want to mention, guys, at the recording of this episode, we're sitting at 996 overall downloads. So we're going to
Love
break
it.
1,000. So
Break 1,000.
Thank you.
900 and what? 96?
96.
No way.
Let's bring some champagne next
Wow,
week.
That's
okay.
right. So thank you to our listeners.
We
You guys are
do
awesome.
have some glasses we can
We could clink them.
Clink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you
Clink.
go.
Don't.
And also,
that was Adam's can.
oh my gosh, funk. We're also recording this on Sunday. So happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Oh,
Happy
thanks,
Mother's
guys.
Day.
Happy Mother's Day
I
to
mean-
Andi.
I just accepted your everybody as just mine.
There you go.
I just want to say, at the dinner I was just at before we came and recorded, I was sitting at the table and we were like, man, the Lamberts they're cool. They have kids and they're still cool.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
So
You know
I'm
what?
not like a regular mom. I'm a cool mom.
Oh
Yeah,
my
she's cool.
gosh. Right
That was
on.
a quote from Mean Girls. I feel like you should know that before you think I just talk like that.
Adam Jones, I feel like I'm setting myself up for disappointment.
I
you
have seen Mean Girls. That is
Okay.
with
Okay,
what's her
great.
name? The
Yeah.
redhead.
Yeah.
Lindsay Lohan.
Lindsay Lohan. Yeah, I have seen that.
Okay.
I have seen that.
You know the weirdo mom who's always in a pink jumpsuit?
It's been like 6 years.
I'm not like
brings
regular
them
moms. I'm the
drinks.
cool moms.
Oh,
Alcohol.
yeah,
and she's
okay,
like,
yes.
I'm not like a regular mom. I'm a cool mom.
We also want to say happy Mother's Day to Adam Jones because he's one bad mother. So
Oh, nice.
Mother
that's for you.
sucker.
You can't see when I'm doing the finger guns.
The finger guns. That's
That's
why.
how Rob dances, by the way.
I haven't seen him dance.
Finger guns only.
Let me just make a note to edit that out. Okay. All right. So tonight we're going to break down season 2, episode 5, Halloween. We're
Yes.
also going to look at a prank that Jim pulls in this episode.
Finally again.
Good stuff. And then we're also going to head over to the DunderMifflin subreddit and check out some awesome content. But before we do, guys, last week we took part in a office trivia pub crawl.
And we definitely didn't place, which is
No.
weird.
We did not place. We got 77.
Can I blame it on our team? We'll just blame it on the team.
I'm shocked by that score
Me
still.
too.
100
77.
trivia questions. We got 77 out of 100.
Yeah, that was much lower than I expected. I'm
Some of-
sorry. about
Maybe
that.
we were just having too much fun. We weren't thinking as hard as we might have. If
Some of them
it was
were
boring.
Some of them were tough.
Some of them were super tough. Like
Sure.
you got like token ones like I don't know, what did Jim dress up as on Halloween on this
Yeah.
Halloween episode?
Yep,
Super
yep.
easy. Three hole
Punch
punch.
Jim, yeah.
And then it was like that one time when Jim put fake keys on Dwight's keyring, how many keys did he take off and throw at Jim?
yeah,
And you're like,
yep. Or what is the zip code for Scranton, which like we had to guess
the office building, all that stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like some stuff I was like, all right. But we had a good team. We had Caleb, who we had on last week.
Yep.
Yes, he
We
did a
had-
great job.
His wife.
His wife. We had Ethan with us, who we'll probably have on at some point. I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
Ethan he dressed as Date Mike.
Yeah,
and it was
if
a
you
hit.
awesome.
want to see all of these pictures too, it's saved in the highlights of our Instagram. You can go through and
nice.
see,
Good.
our experience, some questions.
I realized I shouldn't have dressed up as Dwight. There's way too many.
But you looked good.
There's a couple of there was a couple of things that really pulled it off for you. So Adam Jones dressed up as Dwight Schrute. He rocked the butt cut,
Yep.
which
Yep.
was beautiful,
Yep.
and then he made a laminated name tag that said Dwight Fart Schrute.
Yes.
Security threat.
That
It was so
bad.
good.
For a
Oh.
future episode, but it's funny.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
very good. Andy went as Mose.
Yep.
Fear.
Yep.
Yep.
I didn't keep the beard. I worked very hard on a beard and then watched it.
You just
Did you have to ask anybody to wrestle you to the ground?
Just one, and I
She-
won.
yeah. She went as Sexy Mose, so everyone was
Sexy
trying to
Sexy
wrestle her
pose,
to the
is
ground.
it just because I'm a girl?
Yeah, exactly.
You just be a girl, ladies. That's all you need to be in your sexy.
Oh boy, we're digging ourselves a deep hole.
Oh yikes!
And now here's the thing I will say. We put out the vote to our audience, and we said, was I going to go as,
Oh yeah.
was it Brian, the sound guy?
Yeah,
Brian the Sound.
Brian, the sound guy, or as Roy's DUI mugshot? And Roy's DUI mugshot won with like.
By a landslide.
Yes.
I almost got a little angry. Brian was cuter.
So Andy did makeup to make it look like I got beat up, and I carried
Oh,
around.
good.
I messed up my hair. I carried around a little placard that said Scranton Police Department. I don't know if anybody I think they just thought a homeless guy was following you
Sure.
around all night.
It was a
And they were
deep
fine with
cut,
it.
but man, I think for the few people that knew what it was, really appreciate it.
And a few people did. I did watch as you walked by. People respond to me like, "Oh look." And so yeah, that was really rad.
Yeah.
So you super common in Dwight,
Yeah.
and then Rob being DUI.
Roy.
Right.
And then-
not as common.
Way on the fringe.
Oh,
And
way
then
on the
I
fringe.
was just,
Fear.
Sexy Mose. I won.
And then what was good though is then Ethan, who came with us, was Date Mike. There was a ton
Yeah.
of prison mics, and he was saying, "Should I go as prison Mike or Date Mike?" I said, "You got to go as Date Mike."
Yes.
And I didn't see many other Date Mics.
I may have seen one maybe, but there was
Yeah.
multiple prison mics. So yeah, that was
Yeah.
a
Yeah, he
it was a
pulled it off.
great,
It was good.
Yes.
great choice. All right, so
That was a fun night. Check
Yeah,
it
it
out
was.
on our Instagram story highlights.
check it out there. If you came out and we didn't see you, sorry.
Yeah, bummer.
Yeah.
Dang it. But all right, so let's jump into the episode. So guys, tonight Michael has a choice to make. Oscar lets his colors fly. Dwight gets a job offer, and maybe Jim should take it. This is Halloween, season 2, episode 5 of The Office.
Ooh.
Was that supposed to be like spooky Halloween
Yeah, that was
music?
Halloween. Well, that was better than boop boop boop.
It's a ringtone. All right. So the episode opens and it's Halloween in the office. Everybody's dressed up. Everybody's looking good. Phyllis is a cat. You got Devin over in the corner dressed as, is he like a hobo?
Oh, I didn't
Must
realize
be.
that was a costume.
Yeah, that's a costume.
When I watched it, I turned to Rob and I was like, he looks like a clown. And I genuinely thought that was
I
just
wonder if
his
it was
like
a
business
clown,
attire.
clown or homeless. I don't know.
I think he's a hobo, like a classic like 1930s hobo.
Hobo.
That is funny. I
You
didn't
thought
realize
that
it
was
a
just how
costume.
he dressed?
Yeah, I was
Yeah, he
like,
should.
gosh, get rid of that guy.
She's like, who's that
Looks-
weird hipster in the corner? Oh my gosh. Creed is a vampire.
Yeah.
All that awesome stuff. So then Mike walks in and he is happy.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
Halloween. He's looking jazzed. He sees Pam is dressed as a cat. He's like, this is great. Oh, it's awesome. First thing Pam says, Jan called.
Yeah.
Yep.
And hey, there was a party to look forward to, and you know how much Michael loves to party.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Mint chocolate chip, ice cream cake. He loves to party.
Yeah, it does.
The words Jan called, instantly he's a broken man.
Yep.
Yes, definitely. So
That was a whip noise.
yeah, that was whippa. Whippa. Oh, you've never seen Friends?
No.
Dang it, Adam Jones. Okay, there's some people out there who know what whippa is. So then we find out from Michael that the reason Jan called is because it's getting to the end of the month and he was supposed to let someone go because of the downsizing.
Yep.
She wants to know who it is. And he hasn't picked anybody yet. So one of the things, so we're going to get into a clip here in just a second because Michael takes the call and it's Jan's assistant, I think, Sherry. But one of the things that I noticed behind Michael is on the wall, he has a framed certificate of authenticity. And it says he's the proud owner of a Seiko timepiece. Did you see this?
I think I've seen that come up before on Reddit or something.
You can buy this at Walmart.
You can buy the certificate, or
You can buy the certificate with Michael Scott's name on it.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Oh, I want
That's
that.
funny.
Oh, it's so ridiculous.
At Walmart?
Yeah, and like a Seiko or Seiko watch is like
Yes, it's some.
what, $29, but he has like a certificate with his name written on it hanging in his office like it's a diploma. I don't know. I just thought
That's funny.
you can get your very own for $18.99 at Walmart.com. So check
That's
that out.
expensive for Walmart.
Exactly. So Michael, he's not sure about who he's going to let go, and he's hoping that maybe Sherry can help him. So let's check out this clip.
I know she wanted the name.
Okay, Sherry,
Yeah?
if you were getting fired, how would you want to be told so that you could still be friends with the person firing you?
Jen wants the name as soon as possible, Michael.
Thanks. I'll call her back. Wish I could fire Sherry.
Hey, I'm still here.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Nope.
Nope.
Bye.
Hanging up now.
Michael just wants to be everybody's friend.
I
Poor
know.
guy.
I know. He wants to be
guy.
able to fire you and be your friend at the
Poor
same time.
Sherry. He was wanting to fire her just because she couldn't teach him how to fire.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he is really stressing out, and we see him now with his second head that his paper mache head.
Yes.
And he is just so stressing out. And Pam walks in. She's concerned that this, letting go of somebody downsizing is going to put a damper on the party. Michael makes the quote that there's a man's life at stake. Or maybe
Right,
it's a woman.
yeah.
It's a human. It's a human's life.
somebody.
And at that moment, he's trying to get Pam to choose who she would downsize. And suddenly he's like, all you do is, or she's like, I just answer the phones. And he's like, oh yeah. And sometimes you let it go to voicemail. And then she just turns it on, right?
Yeah, she knows Michael. She knows how to butter
You
him
see her
up.
think about it for a second, and then it's like, I know exactly what to do.
I know what he needs to hear.
Yep.
I'm gonna
Yep.
schmooze him. I'm gonna congratulate him on his excellent paper mache head, which he says that he sent away for it in a catalog back in July. I kind of wish he would have made it. Like, don't you imagine Michael
Yeah.
Scott as a guy who probably knows how to do a mean paper mache?
Sure.
I think he probably does, because, it's probably crafts he's done by himself before.
Dang it. So we head back out into the office. We see 3-hole punch Jim.
Yep.
Classic. At least-
Everybody's confused by that.
I love that one.
we actually saw quite a few 3-hole punch Jims at the
Yeah,
pub
That's
crawl.
true. We did.
I
Yeah.
almost did that.
That was a popular one. We see Dwight. Phyllis wants to know if he's supposed to be a monk. And we find out that no, he's a Sith Lord, and that he paid $129
It
for
seems
his
very
lightsaber.
expensive for that.
For a toy, for sure.
Yeah, can't you just get one of those for like $20 at Walmart,
Walmart. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can.
along with your Seiko
I feel like
certificate of
Walmart
authenticity?
should be our sponsor with the amount of times that we're pushing people
I
towards
love.
Walmart.
Hey, I love Walmart. I have no shame.
Yeah, last time I went to Walmart, I bought the same shirt as Adam Jones.
That's
so-
right.
Yeah. And then the next weekend, you guys wore it on the same day.
Aha.
A guy wore it today.
I
Oh,
saw him.
really?
Yep.
Another
that's
rando
funny.
guy walked in and he was wearing that shirt, and I was like, good thing he didn't wear it today.
And I didn't wear it today. Yeah.
Beautiful. So then Michael's at accounting, and he sees Oscar in a dress, letting your colors
Color
slide.
sign. Yeah. Yep.
But you know what? At this point, do we know Oscar's gay?
No, I
No,
don't think
that's
so.
a spoiler, Andy.
Yeah.
You just dropped a massive. I'm gonna
People
bleep
probably
that
guessed.
out.
People probably guess.
People can probably. What are you implying?
The show's been going
Yeah,
on
exactly.
for over 10 years. I think we're good. I think we're beyond
So does this
spoilers.
mean that Michael sort of knew, like, kind of had his
I think
finger
it's
on the
supposed to
pulse?
show his insensitivity, but he's picking
Sure.
up on things, and so yes and
Is
no.
this foreshadowing for Oscar? I never thought of it that way.
Did he plant that in his mind?
Well, I mean,
you think he made
power-
Oscar
Wait a
gay?
second. Oh,
the power of suggestion. Oh my god.
there it is.
So he wants to know, like, what happened to all the Halloween decor, and nobody knows.
It's cracking me up.
Angela put it up the night before, and
Uh-huh.
then We see the janitor just destroying
Can
everything.
you imagine how frustrating it must be? And how long had it been since he's been there that he thinks that like
Also,
all
what
of
a
sudden this
dumb
cop-
janitor. Oh, it's October 30th. I'll just
He's like,
vacuum
what
this
the what
stuff
is
up.
going on with
Why
all
are there
these cobwebs?
spiders everywhere?
Big spiders.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Messy people.
So then Michael also tells him, hey, I also need you just, if you can you just find like $50,000 extra dollars in the budget plus benefits and all that good stuff? And pretend that your jobs depend on it.
Wink, wink.
Yes, totally. And then, so then Michael walks into the break room. We see Kelly there dressed as Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz.
Yep.
And Michael says, great take on Dorothy, but a soccer ball and cleats would have been good too.
Again, insensitivity.
Yeah,
Bend it like Beckham.
okay, we need another
I
training,
don't know what that
Michael.
movie is. You must know what that movie
We
is.
need another everybody in the conference room.
Yeah.
For diversity
Bendy
tomorrow.
like Beckham.
Bend it like Beckham. I've actually never
Wait, I want to
seen.
try. Bend it like Beckham.
That's fine.
That was
Andy's impersonation of people is basically Andy's voice saying the lines.
Exactly. I've never actually seen that one, but yeah, it's a
Okay.
soccer movie, I guess.
Soccer movie with
I
an
didn't
Indian
even
girl.
know what it was about.
What does it mean to bend it like Beckham?
Who knows?
Is
Oh,
that like
you
where
haven't seen it?
No.
Does it mean like you curve the ball? You bend the ball?
Sure.
Kind of like
Maybe
bullet
she's
bending in
very
the movie
flexible.
Wanted? I don't know.
Bend It Like Beckham. It is a literal movie from 2002 that looks like a Disney Channel movie.
Oh, gosh.
Neeks.
Do you see what I'm? Yeah, this looks very Disney.
Oh,
movie-esque.
yeah, for sure.
There you go.
So
Yeah, so, yeah, it's how the ball bends.
yeah, how the ball bends.
That's what she said.
Oh! I
so
wish she could have said that.
So
Maybe.
we're back at reception, and Dwight is there with Jim and Pam, and he's like, "Oh, what were you for Halloween again? Oh, that's right, 3-hole punch." And he punches Jim,
Dwight.
and Jim is so mad.
He's like a little brother.
Nah, I can't even imagine working with Dwight. That was it.
It'd
That
be
was just...
I think it'd actually be pretty entertaining. It'd be really interesting.
After a while, it'd get really annoying because he is like a little brother. You just kind of want to flick him away every once in a while.
Flick him.
Flick him like
Move
Beckham.
on over.
Flick like Ant-Man.
Oh,
Thumbelina.
don't even get me started. Patreon.com/.
Nobody's ever wanted to flick Thumbelina though. She's so cute.
Now we're really going into it.
I know. We got to move on.
Yeah, let's do that.
Dwight's
So then-
annoying. Bye.
So Dwight punches Jim, and then Jim decides with Pam that they're going to put Dwight's resume all over the internet
That is a great idea.
to try to get him
We
hired.
should do that to somebody in the office.
We should do it to Adam Jones.
Nah.
Do it. Do
So
it.
they decide to put his resume all over the internet to try and get him hired, preferably out of state, but even like maybe out of the country. They mentioned India, some stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
so they're trying to come up with like cool ways to say interesting things about him. So like, what did she say? Like a dog's obedience to authority.
Oh yeah, they're going through all these
Dog
things.
like obedience to authority.
Oh, there you
Mhm.
go. I love. He's a gun nut. So
Yeah,
he
so
sticks to
sticks
his
to his
guns.
guns. Yeah, they're just coming up with like slightly punny
Yeah.
things to like say about him.
That's super fun.
So this is actually
That's
a
why
prank.
we need to do it to Adam.
Oh jeez. Maybe
You could make one and then print it out for me.
There we go.
And we're gonna send it out.
Oh my gosh. And so this is actually the prank that we'll look at towards the end of the episode. But they start to get his resume together because they're going to post it everywhere and try to get him hired. So we go back to accounting, and Angela is like, I have found there is one department with 3 staff people that could be done by 2. And Oscar's like, sweet, great.
Yep.
And then they make the realization,
Oscar's a smart man.
accounting.
Why did it take him like even a second to think, duh, it's us.
Yeah.
It's always been
Yeah.
them. They're the
And they all look at Kevin too.
And
Poor
here's
Kevin.
Sure.
that's the sad thing is that honestly, when we look at where everything is at right now, unfortunately, he's a great character, but in reality, Kevin.
I think
Should've just been let
everybody
go.
would think Kevin or Meredith
Okay,
Yeah.
so can we just
or Creed.
Or Creed, yeah.
Well, Creed doesn't even know what he does. That's what's awesome.
Creed is of sound mind in this episode.
Oh
though.
yeah, he
fights.
knows Michael Scott.
I'm waiting for the turn. We'll have to very, very carefully identify where's the turn with Creed. I'm interested
Sure.
to see what that is. But real quick, can we take a little rabbit trail here? So Oscar's dressed as a woman.
Uh-huh.
Angela, is she supposed to be a cat?
Yes.
Okay, I figured that was like
I think so.
Gosh,
pretty
we
easy.
had 3 cats in this episode.
Yes, but Kevin like DunderMifflin man, Dunderman.
Oh,
he has a
assumed he
Dunder
was
like he's
Incredible.
dressed
I
like
think
Mr.
so.
Incredible, but he has a DunderMifflin logo on his chest.
Yeah, I think
He's
that's
just
what
showing
he's
his
supposed to be.
loyalty. That will win over Michael.
That's why he didn't get
He
fired.
knew.
Michael saw his
He's smarter than
Can't
he
fire
looks,
the
folks.
Dunder man.
that's right. He saw his costume and was like, "Not today.
Nah, not
Not
gonna
today,
happen.
Kevin. You're here. You're here to stay." So then Dwight is in Michael's office and he's trying to suggest who should be downsized, and just without any sort of prejudice, just everyone,
Yeah.
just every name that's not Dwight.
Anyone is disposable.
Like he almost could have said Michael's name and it probably wouldn't have been a surprise.
Yeah. I just like how they do this well. Where I'm trying to remember where exactly it happens, but they're filming it at the angle where
Yes.
it's just cutting off his eyes.
You're
with the
seeing
hood.
his lips. He's like,
Yeah.
"No, Michael.
Yes,
Tell him to be quiet,
quiet.
not Dwight."
It's so good.
And there's like this awesome struggle between Michael like talking to the head, like, "Oh, what did you say?
Yes.
Oh, he would land on his feet." He's like, "No, Michael, tell him to be quiet."
It's just it's
Dwight.
great banter that they put in that. I really like it.
It was so good. This is one moment that it's interesting because Michael is stressing out and he's just panicking the whole episode. But in this moment, like he decides to have some fun and
Yeah,
like
he
give
just
Dwight
teases.
a hard time, which
Yeah,
is just,
he does.
It's great.
Must just be blowing off steam or something.
Comes back to bite him a little bit in a little while, but
Yeah.
we'll talk about that. So then we go to the conference room because they're going to party down in that conference room.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. And we find out that Pam made brownies.
Is this the
Sure.
first office party?
No, remember green is a whore color.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's right.
I forget
That
what
was one
that
of the
was
questions.
for, but yeah.
That's one of the questions at
Oh
trivia.
yeah. What
Yeah.
color did Angela think was
Oh,
horse?
it was
yeah.
Meredith's surprise party a month early.
Oh, the birthday. Yeah.
Oh
That's
Yeah.
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Hey, my birthday came and went, and I never got a birthday card. I'm
Tough
kind of
luck,
disappointed
Bird.
in you guys.
But your shirt today says Mama Bird.
It does.
So there.
See,
I also would
needed
like to point out that you gave us a hard time for that 1 or 2 episods ago, so let it go.
it. Oh, that's going to be the thing that I never forgive you for, apparently.
We're gonna have to figure that out. So we find out that Pam made brownies, and Angela just wants to know why she's sabotaging.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
why do you just want to sabotage everything?
Why make delicious fudgy chocolate
Yeah.
frosting
Sabotage.
brownies?
That's
Because
a
you
song.
hate us all.
Do you think that the Beastie Boys were singing about Pam's brownies?
Thank you,
When
yeah.
they talked
There
about
you go.
something. Anyways,
A pop culture reference.
there you go. There's pop culture. That's
You
good for
wouldn't know it.
I know it.
So big.
I was talking to them,
Oh,
Oh, the listeners.
the radioers.
The radioers. Oh, jeez. So Angela is like, I made cookies, same category. Why are you trying to sabotage? You're going to ruin the whole party because you brought extra treats. Pam.
come on, brownies though.
She's Louise.
I love brownies.
Pam.
Honorable Pamela. And then so we get a little interview with Pam, and she's
Pam
basically
on the
saying that
ding-dong.
in her mind, Angela's probably one of those people at Halloween who like gives toothbrushes or walnuts or pennies,
Rulers.
pencils. What are some
Apples.
other apples? What are some
Yeah.
like of the
Poison.
junk that you've got? Like
I think it was usually some
Poison-filled
kind
candy.
of fruit.
religious
Where
tracks.
did you grow up? Tracks, yeah. Yes.
Razors and chocolate. I don't know, but isn't that what you're always afraid of growing up? Like that's what our parents
That's what my
assume
parents
was
always-
going to
but
be in the
when-
candy.
Like
I don't
never
know.
have them.
razor blades in your peanut butter cups and
Who
needles,
does? Who-
needles in your Tootsie Rolls.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
now we're like creating a horror film.
I'm
doing?
sorry, that's just a little paranoid. I
Sorry,
think.
Rob. Why'd you take us down this
Sorry,
road?
it's Halloween. It's supposed to be spooky. So
It's very scary.
we got another clip here, but so we go back out into the office, and Pam gets a phone call, and it's obvious that it's somebody returning a call on Dwight's resume, and she's going to forward the call to Jim, and Jim is going to have to give, I would say, maybe the greatest performance of his life.
It's great.
So let's check out this clip.
Michael Scott here. Yes, I am regional manager of this orifice.
Orifice.
Excellent. Well done. Good start.
Dwight Schrute is amazing. Yeah. No, he is actually the single greatest employee of his generation.
Very proud of himself.
You know what? I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you what. You hire Dwight K. Schrute, and he does not meet, nay, exceed every one of your wildest expectations, well, then you can hold me, Michael Gary Scott,
We finally get to Gary.
personally and financially responsible.
And then he
Okay.
seals it so good right here.
Okay.
Okay.
So good.
the way that he ends that phone call is like,
That's what seals the deal. That is an excellent
I feel like
impression.
he had a little bit of an accent too, like a little Michael, as if Michael was country.
And I think what's great is that if this person had called back and actually reached Michael, it would have, one, you wouldn't have known the difference.
No.
And two, it would have been in such a manner that Michael would have gone along with it. Like,
Sure.
hey, I
Sure.
called earlier.
oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So it's perfect.
Oh, he just puts the bow on it with that. Okay, it's so good.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So then we get a clip here of Dwight trying to like get Stanley to come with him, and then Stanley won't come with him, so he just says, "Stanley, you're fired."
I love Stanley. Nope.
He's like, "Oh yeah, you're fired."
You're fired.
Oh, take your hands off my phone.
Take your hands off my phone.
So then he reports back to Michael, and he's like, "How did it go with Stanley?" It did not go well. Stanley wouldn't listen to
He
him.
wouldn't listen.
Yeah, I did. You're gonna have to fire him yourself. No, I didn't want to fire Stanley.
Yeah, he just denies it.
All
Yeah.
that good stuff. And so then Dwight gets a call, and we're seeing that he's now getting a call back on the resume. So we can only assume that the call that Jim got was somebody checking the reference, and they decided, oh yes, we want him. We need to get a hold of this guy. And so they basically give a call to Dwight, and he's offered a job at Cumberland Mills, but he's a little bit concerned because the resume that they received, it sounds like, didn't have the martial arts training on it.
Sure.
So
concerning.
Oh, and I forgot. This clip is good. I wish we would have the marker for us. Is this the part where he calls back? I'm maybe jumping ahead in the notes.
Yes, he does call back. He does call back in a little while, but this is where we get an interview with Dwight where he's basically saying that like his number one thing is loyalty.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah.
And that's why he wants to show his loyalty, but he wants to go wherever people value loyalty the most.
Yeah.
What's funny is what company just looks at a resume and starts calling references?
I mean, on the same day, like
they
within
must
hours,
have
right?
Loved him.
They just must
Yeah.
need people. Yeah.
They were desperate.
Yeah.
Sure, you'd have to be.
They were desperate.
Yeah.
So then we get a quick shot of Oscar leaving the bathroom, and the temp lets him know that his dress was caught. I just thought that was interesting.
Happens
Is that
to me
meant
all the
to?
time.
I'm sorry. Is that meant to like imply something? Because they include it as a clip, and then I'm like, what does that have bearing on the story?
No, I think it's just that's like an embarrassing moment with
Okay.
girls. Like your dress will if you're not careful, it's very possible for a dress to get caught in your underwear and you to walk around with your butt showing. You wouldn't
Okay.
know
Okay.
it.
So that's the reference. Okay.
Yeah,
I get it.
It's
Okay.
just like he's a girl and that could happen in the restroom.
Got it.
There you go.
Okay. Makes sense.
So Dwight he decides to now he wanted to make some amendments to his resume because it didn't have the martial arts training.
Yeah.
He says, I'm going to fax it to you. So now he has sent the fax and he's calling to check in on the resume, and it gets a little bit heated. They're basically saying that martial arts training is not relevant.
And then Dwight says, I know about 1 billion Asians that would like to disagree or something.
Again, everybody in the conference room, time for diversity
I
training.
can't say that in 2019, but this is what Dwight says. I just thought that line is so
It is
funny.
funny.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
very belligerently he says this. He says the line. It's so funny.
As HR, that's an easy red strike through the name.
Hold up, we can't
Moving
say
on.
that.
So I love how unaware, he's just not self-aware at all. He says, no, you go to hell, which is interesting because that means that the Cumberland Mills person
Sure, I know.
initially told him,
Go to
you go
Go
to
to
hell,
hell.
which is a little rough, Cumberland
that is
Mills.
weird.
Take it easy.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like you're calling a potential recruit and you tell them to go to hell just
Yeah.
because he likes to like fight and kick stuff. Like, take it easy, dude.
Yeah, it's
They haven't even met Mose yet.
Exactly. But Dwight tells him, and I quote, no, you go to hell and I will see you there burning. Oh, by the way, you're going to let me know when you guys make this.
With that.
he's very confident in the delivery until the end. And
Yeah.
Then he's yeah.
He wants that offer. So then it cuts over to Pam, and she's talking to Jim, and she's like, in all seriousness, don't take this the wrong way, but you should go for that job.
Yeah.
And she's telling him, hey, it's better pay, it's challenging, all that stuff. And when Jim's emphasizes, hey, it's in Maryland, I would leave, she's kind of like, yeah, I know. And this is like a pretty hard blow to Jim. Like,
Sure.
I don't think we've seen him this like emotionally devastated, have we?
Jim's, in my opinion, he's a little moody. Excuse me, in this part. I'm sorry. She just wants what's best for you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how I see
That
it.
is definitely one way to look at it.
Yeah,
I can see that for
and
sure.
to him, that's her saying, "You and I don't have a future, so this is fun, but move on."
Oh, that's how Jim's hearing it?
That's what I would assume how
That's-
he's hearing it.
that's sort of the
For
reaction.
him to respond that way.
I get what you're saying. Yes, that
Okay.
she is looking at something going, I want what's best for you. Like, this is awesome. But yeah, the way that I took it, that Jim took it, was like, even though you're engaged and blah, 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 and like maybe I'm still seeing the purse girl or whatever, like we still kind of have this thing going.
Yeah, there's some hope there in Jim's mind.
And like what you're telling me is like, no, you should move out of state, and like I'm encouraging you to do that, you know?
So
and
that's just in his brain. I would assume that means
like no
this
shot.
door is closed. We're not going anywhere. You can
I
move
see.
on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a pretty. He's a little
And
tore
yeah,
up about
he's
that.
moody about that.
Yeah.
But I mean, they have chemistry, so he has reason to hope. But the reality is, she's engaged, and so
That's where I guess that
It's
lands for me. Is
fair.
I guess like in a purely reality, it's
Sure.
like this makes sense.
yeah, that's
totally.
Feelings
fair.
aside.
Totally. So now we have a clip coming up here. So after she tells Jim that he should take the job, Dwight has just got off the phone with Cumberland Mills telling them to go to hell. And then he gets a brilliant idea to show his loyalty and prove his loyalty to Michael. So let's take a look at this.
This is called leveraging an offer. Michael, can I talk to you for a moment?
Oh, good.
I just thought you should know that I was just offered a job with better pay, better benefits, and a better title at Cumberland Mills.
Fantastic.
And I turned it down
What? That would have solved all my
out
problems.
of loyalty to this
Oh,
company.
you idiot.
I was hoping to be made assistant regional manager
If
officially.
you left, I wouldn't have to fire anybody.
But then you wouldn't have me here.
Big deal. Oh, man, it goes so well. Can you get it back?
It's in Maryland.
You could call. Can you call him?
I can't. I
Now
suppose I
Michael's
no.
begging.
They never really made me an offer anyway.
Why are you torturing me?
I feel
Dwight's like,
bad
"Oh,
for
crap."
Dwight, not because I like him per se, but because he's just he goes in so confidently, and then at the end of it, he's like, and you see him look at the camera, and he's like,
He's like, "Oh crap."
But what's interesting about that exchange is it starts out sounding like he says, this is called leveraging an offer.
yeah.
And then he goes in there and he's like, I want you to know I got and you're thinking he's going to ask for a promotion, more money, all that stuff. But he says, no, I turned it down for loyalty to this company. And what he in that moment says is, I just was hoping that you would actually like legit make me the assistant
So
regional
it's just the
manager.
title. He did all of that for a title.
Yeah.
What's funny is his timing is terrible. Like he
It
knew,
is,
like
yeah.
he had zero self-awareness for, you know what? I could leverage this later. You know?
I could tuck it away.
I do
Yeah.
think that this is a little bit, though, of it coming back to haunt Michael, because Michael was giving him a hard time earlier when he was like, what? Oh, what are you saying? Yeah, he
Yeah.
would land on his feet. No, not Dwight. And then Dwight comes in and gives him some hope and then just shatters his dreams.
Yeah.
So, all right. And then so we go to an interview and Jim is talking about the fact that, like, Michael is stalling. Like, he's hoping that somebody will volunteer, somebody get hit by a bus, but at the end of the day, it will come down to whoever gives him a dirty look in the hallway is going to be the one to get fired.
Sure.
Great management style.
Yeah.
And then we hear the and Michael is standing there, and the look on Michael's face is like, dude, death stare.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Serious Michael. Hey, can I talk to you in my office?
Yeah.
He doesn't even say
Orifice?
he doesn't even say in my orifice. He says in my office. You're like, this is legit. And
Yeah.
Jim to me looks visibly shaken. He's probably thinking, all right, maybe it's going to be me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we have a clip here because Jim is not going to get fired. Michael really needs his help with a little role play. So let's check this out.
Can't head.
We should switch seats in order to.
Yes, that's a good idea.
All right.
So he wants Jim to practice firing him to help him out. So let's see how this goes.
I'm really sorry, but I have to let you go. And it's purely budgetary. It's not personal.
Oh, gosh.
Kill myself! I'm going to kill myself, and it's your fault!
That's an overreaction.
That's an overreaction.
Do you ever feel like your kids act out in this where
Oh,
like it's unexpected, just
sure.
like whoa,
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
where did this come from?
Although it has less to do with being downsized and more to do with the fact that we won't give them another handful of Cheez-Its.
It's always the snacks. Always the snacks.
Oh, they get so
Who's
hangry.
worse,
like-
Bryn or Nora?
Definitely,
Maybe Nora.
definitely Nora, our oldest.
Yeah, Nora.
But Bryn is
She's
making.
catching
She's
up.
making some headway.
Oh yes.
So funny that
Oh, no.
our daughters respond really well, surprisingly well for their age to no's. Unless it involves food, then they just
Yeah.
break down. But all other things, they can hear no very well.
Yeah, I guess so.
Weird.
I guess so.
But Cheez-Its, or as Nora says, Jesus.
More Jesus.
I'm
More
gonna have
Jesus.
more Jesus.
Yes, you can.
The cheesy kind, sure.
she calls Cheez-Its Jesus, and she calls there's a like a popcorn called Pirates Booty,
Oh yeah.
but she calls it Booty Pirates.
Yep. We're like, sure, you can have some booty.
So she's like, Dad, can I have some Jesus and some Booty Pirates? And I'm like, this sounds like a weird like 70s funk band, like Jesus and the Booty Pirates or something. I don't know. It's bad news. Anyways, so Michael needs his help role playing Fire and Creed. It does not go well. He loses his mind. But as Jim comes out of the office, Pam must have been worried sick because she thought maybe he was going to get fired. She grabs his hand. We get kind of a zoom in on that.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And he's like, no, it wasn't me. And she's like, oh, I was so worried. Blah, blah. And then he just like
Moody Jim.
walks off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Moody Jim
Oh,
again.
baby. He's just not having it right now. He's like, hey, you wanted me to go to
"Nuh-uh."
Maryland, sucker. See ya. So then Michael walks out. He calls Creed into his office. He tries to fire Creed, but Creed just turns the tables on him.
Oh,
Yeah.
he controls the conversation.
For sure.
He's like, yeah, let's like old days. Let's fight it like we did in the old
What
days.
old days?
Michael is very confused about the old days. But look at Creed. Creed has had a lot of old days.
I guess so.
And
man.
I'm sorry if I'm remembering this wrong. Isn't there a line somewhere where Creed says the only thing separating me between me and being a homeless person is this job? Is that in this episode? Or
It's
am I-
not in this episode.
Okay,
No. I think it's later on. Yeah.
I think it's. I know what episode it is now, so this is still true.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
So Creed is telling me you need to fire Devin. Devin's a loser. Nobody likes him. I'm way better at my job than Devin is.
We're all sitting there going, who's Devin?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
And he says, you will, I won't hold it. Michael's like, I'm always going to be the guy who almost fired you. No, I'll forget. You're going to be my savior. All that stuff.
Which I'm sure sounds amazing to Michael.
Oh yeah, playing to the ego. So
he could be a
yeah.
hero.
he walks out, and Michael is convinced. So Michael walks out and calls Devin into his office.
Oh, it's so painful.
What's funny is they were talking so loud that
Everybody could
everybody
hear.
could hear. So of
Yeah.
course Devin knew that Creed threw him under the bus and then got him fired. Awkward.
Dang it.
And then everybody else knew Creed was supposed to get fired.
We get at least Creed as a character, but man, this is painful.
Yeah.
So Devin tries to turn the tables also, but it doesn't work. So he gets let go. He storms out of the office, but not before Michael says, hey, no hard feelings. And on top of the severance, I want you to have this Chili's gift certificate from me.
Trying to be friends, and I distinctly remember this, and I think it's so great. There's that cutaway. I think it's in between Creed and Devin. You ever been hunting, Michael?
Yeah.
Is that? Am I jumping ahead again? I'm
No,
sorry.
that's it. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
yeah.
yeah. I went hunting once, shot a deer in the leg, found it, and had to kill it with a shovel. He says.
Yeah, it took me 2
Oh,
hours.
gosh.
Oh my gosh,
Of course.
that is such a visual
I know.
of what is happening here.
Sure.
Horrible. So,
Painful.
so Devin rips up the Chili's gift certificate, and then he tells a select few to join him at Port Richards for a drink, which, if you run down the list, it's everybody except Michael, Dwight, Angela, and Creed.
Makes sense actually
Yeah.
when you get
do
that
you
detailed.
do you think that Angela would go to a bar with them?
No.
He just knew.
Maybe.
I mean, it makes sense. Like, not Michael and not Creed,
Sure.
because they were obviously they probably overheard that
Obviously.
conversation. Not Angela, because she's a prude and she,
Sure.
yeah, whatever. But why not Dwight?
He's just a weird dude, I guess.
He doesn't want to be
That's what
seen
it
with the
is.
Sith Lord. So everybody heads out. Angela's concerned about the party, but it sounds like it's not going to happen. And Pam apologizes to Jim. He says, if you left, I'd blow my brains out. And
That was enough.
yeah, Jim basically says, hey, what that really means is that we're just friends. But if it wasn't for Pam, I would take the job in Maryland.
Something there.
I don't. This may be a spoiler alert. Probably not. But what I'm noticing, knowing their story, I feel like Pam, this is the beginning of her holding him back in a lot of ways.
Ooh.
I feel like his love for her and his like continual pursuit to try and make something happen brings him a lot of no's in life and brings him back to that office all the time.
Yeah.
Or keeps him there.
Well, and it goes back and forth a little bit throughout the seasons.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying.
Interesting. I think that we will talk a lot more about that as we go on, because that's an interesting dynamic. I like that.
Yeah.
So, kind of the final scenes we get here. Devin is outside breaking a pumpkin on Michael's Chrysler Sebring.
I would want to do something like that. If somebody pissed me off, I think, I should do this. But I would never. It's so funny to see somebody be like, yep, I'm doing it. And then just really do it.
I'll show you where you can put that Chili's gift card. So he breaks a pumpkin on Michael's car, and then we see Mike. And during this time, Michael is kind of running down some of the previous costumes he had. All of them incredibly inappropriate.
Yes.
Janet Jackson's boob.
Monica Lewinsky.
2 years in a row.
Yes, that's right.
And OJ.
Oh a lot of insensitive.
I would have wanted to see pictures of those.
Oof.
That would be great.
But we see him cleaning up the office alone. He's cleaning up the gift card that got shredded. We see him going home alone. He's sitting at home alone watching TV, and then the doorbell rings, and he's so excited to hand out candy to the trick-or-treaters.
Yeah, he's a sweet guy.
And so at the end of the day, he had to make a tough choice. He had to do something incredibly hard, I think, for anybody, but definitely hard for Michael Scott.
Definitely.
And I think at the end of the episode, we see that it's weighing.
It's a lonely world being Michael Scott.
Yeah,
it is.
It's weighing on him. So there you go. That was season 2, episode 5, Halloween. Now, one of the things we like to do, probably a day or two before we record, I like to throw it to Instagram and just ask people like, hey, what was your favorite part of the episode, and kind of get an audience reaction. And this week, we only got one reaction, and it happened to be from Andi herself.
And she's laughing right now.
I actually didn't see it until this moment. That's why I'm laughing. Like, wait a minute.
So imagine my surprise when I go to look and see how many reactions we got, and the only one we have is Andi, who says,
"Step it up, folks."
When I ask her, what was your favorite part of this episode, she says, your mom, when she did that thing in bed. So thank you. Thank you for that, Andi.
Andi,
you're welcome, folks.
In many parts of our interactions, always brings the
mom card.
Not the mom card. The slightly edgy. Like, oh, that surprises me a little bit. Like, I didn't know Andi had that in her. So many stories.
Yeah,
I didn't know mine would win, but I'm feeling very proud.
It's because she's so small and just like you think she's small and innocent, but she's a little firecracker. She gets you.
She is. She
gets you
in bed.
Oh my gosh. No comment. I don't want to lose our explicit rating. Now, I don't want to lose our clean rating. Anyways, that was a Freudian slip if there ever was one. So at this point in the episode, we like to take a look at a prank that Jim pulled, and in this episode he did. Before we go there, let's take a look at the leaderboard. Third place, Season 1, Episode 6, Hot Girl, Dwight buys a purse, 13 Shroot Bucks out of 30. Season 1, Episode 1, the pilot, Dwight, Stapler, and Jell-O. Second place was 16. And then tied for first, we have Season 1, Episode 4 from The Alliance, which is It's My Dwight in a Box. And then Season 2, Episode 2, Sexual Harassment, when Jim baits Mike into the long That's What She Said rant. Now, this week, Jim and Pam post Dwight's resume
that was a good one.
all over the internet
and
get him a job offer.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
I love how creative they were with describing Dwight in a way that is honest but winning.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like they made fun of him in the midst of it, and they built it from scratch. But they put together a resume that got him a job offer.
Yeah.
At a competing company that's a higher position with greater pay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
that's a pretty good prank.
So I've got a score here, and it includes the phone call of Michael.
Yep.
Yes,
so
that has
I
to be
include that in
considered.
there. I would give that an 8.
Okay.
8 Shroot Bucks.
Love it. 8 out of 10. Perfect
Sure.
score will be 30. So what do you think, Andi?
I'm gonna copy him and say 8.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not high enough to be a 9 or a 10.
Uh-huh.
but it's way too good to be any lower than 8 for sure.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
I think that I was going to go with a 7 on this one.
Okay.
I agree.
This wasn't a 7.5 or something.
Oh, I should go 7.5.
Oh no, weirdo.
Because I think it took just incredible amount of creativity. I mean, Jim delivering in the clutch moment there. It was so good. So total, that puts it in first place, ladies and gentlemen.
No way.
Yeah.
23 Shroot Bucks.
Nice.
Jim and
good.
Pam post Dwight's resume. That's taking the lead with 23 Shroot Bucks. So there you go. We'll keep that leaderboard going, and we got plenty more pranks coming our way.
Pointy
We got 20 more pranks from Jim and Pam. So, anyways,
Hamburger and
save us from ourselves. Adam Jones. Let's head over to that DunderMifflin subreddit and take a look at that good.
Yeah,
good
our nerd
content.
is showing. Let's hip it up.
And make sure that you check out the show notes because what we're getting ready to look at will be there for you to take a look at as well.
And I've got 2 for this week. One because one is kind of what we usually do, and then one is a little bit more normal. And I actually just figured out I gotta make sure I get the usernames here. I'll read them before saying them. First one here, as it's just pulling up. I'm actually gonna pull this to this other screen here. Is this one basically, it resonates with me. It might be, I don't know if it's going to be the same for you. Somebody on Twitter, they screen capped this, and I thought the comments were so endearing too. People were literally saying, this makes me feel better about like getting older and going to a retirement home. Somebody is tweeting, and again, it's screen capped by user HD from COD. I don't know if that's a Call of Duty reference or something.
Oh, baby.
But he basically screen capped this, and somebody tweeting, retirement homes in 40 years are just going to be old people playing Super Smash Bro. while the office loops on repeat.
Yes.
So I definitely...
Are we retired already?
I mean,
no.
we don't play enough Super Smash Bros.
Oh, you're right.
so-
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're not there yet.
I played plenty, and I still play a lot. But anyways, this, I would not mind going to a retirement home. That was
It
this.
sounds pretty awesome, actually.
Yes. Very, very nice. And then the second one that I've got, again, that's just because that's not normally one that we do, but I very much appreciated it, and the community loved it. This one is from user Bayz with 3 E's. So that's the user. Anyways, it's somebody actually printed and framed from this future episode. So if you haven't seen this episode, that's all right. But for those of you listeners that have seen it, you'll appreciate it. It's a printed the Scranton Times. It's framed up on their wall. Looks like in their office. Scranton area paper company DunderMifflin apologizes to valued clients. Some companies still know how business is done, and that is the headline of the article.
Oh,
and
it's
so
good.
just a classic episode. Again, this is several seasons ahead. But if I found that on like Etsy, I would buy this.
Oh, sure.
This is a great piece.
Yeah.
And I love that if you actually go and read some of the articles, like there's some, like it's legit. Like they're not trying to fill with like random stuff. But what I love is that the sub headline is a quote from Michael Scott. It says, Michael Scott, regional manager, DunderMifflin Scranton. They're trying to make me an scapegoat. If I'm fired, I swear to God that every single piece of copier paper in this town is going to have the F word on it. The F word. You have one day.
Oh, gosh.
I didn't read that. That's so great.
So that's quality control, right? Is the name of that episode?
Yeah, and
Okay.
I want to say that's okay. Let me take a stab. I think that is season. I'm gonna say 4 or 5.
Okay.
Oh, my guess was the end of 3.
What is it?
Oh, you gotta stall. You gotta give me more time. than
Okay,
that,
okay, that's right.
Jones.
So I'm
Okay.
gonna say it's before. Shoot, is it before Michael Scott? Oh man, I'm upset. I don't know. Quality control episode. Let me see if I can find it. But I hope I'm right.
Oh no, Product Recall.
Product Recall.
Season 3, Episode 1.
Oh, I was right with the
Shoot, you
season,
were
but I
right.
thought it was
Yeah.
towards the end.
So
Okay.
there you go. That's a very good episode. Some classic stuff going
Yeah.
down there too. So
Yep.
Yeah.
awesome. So make sure you check out the show notes, and we're gonna be getting some Reddit silver to them, and they're gonna win a Dundie for most awesome headline
Yeah.
Dundie.
The other one is just making us feel good about retirement. That's,
That's
the
awesome,
Dundee
yeah.
they get.
They're gonna get the I'm gonna be able to sleep at night Dundie because I'm not worried about dying. Okay. Anyways, Okay, so as we come to the end of the episode, guys, we want to say thank you so much again for listening, supporting the show. Hey, if you've downloaded this, then guess what? We broke 1,000 downloads, so thank you guys so much. That's awesome. Once again, make sure you rate and subscribe. Make sure you tell a friend about the show, and check us out on Patreon. For $3 a month, you get access to the after party at Poor Richard's. We're going to go join Devin over there. He's sulking. He's feeling so bad about getting let go.
We need to take him home.
I'll just give him a little butt squeeze. He'll feel better.
And come join us, because we've all finally seen Endgame, and we're going to talk some Endgame spoilers. So come on over. It's going to be great. Now, here's your homework, ladies and gentlemen, for this week. Number one, I was going to say go smash a pumpkin on somebody's car, but that feels like a bad idea.
And it's not pumpkin season.
Yeah, so just go update your resume. Just do it. That's always a good thing to do. So
Post it.
Yeah. And then
You
also,
know what? Random fact. I do that at least every 6 months.
Oh, wow. I don't do that.
So go update your resume, and then go watch Season 2, Episode 6, The Fight.
Ooh.
Yes, good stuff coming our way. So until next time, I'm Rob.
I'm Adam. Stop it. I'm Andi.
And this was a train wreck, so have a good night, everybody.
Everybody in the conference room.
Yes.
All right, let's head over to Poor Richard's, because somebody's already been pre-gaming, I can tell.